What is up, friends? Welcome back to the Badass Times. My name is Matt, and today I just got home from seeing the early screening 3 days before its release for Top Gun Maverick, starring the great and powerful Tom Cruise. Let's get into it. So, first things first, this film is absolutely breathtaking. It's incredible. It's what filmmaking is all about. It's what going to the movies is all about. I haven't had this much fun in a movie theater in a long time. Maybe since Mad Max Fury Road. Truly had that much fun, grabbing your seat and just every single thing, just whoa, just it's one of those movies, and it's so well. These are just gonna be a bunch of random thoughts throughout this video because I'm still trying to get over it. I cannot wait to see this movie again. Just to drive home, I lived like 10 minutes away from the theater, so just the drive home. Getting here and trying to settle down for a minute and trying to think about it. Wow. Just wow. Let's start with, let's start with the main guy, Tom Cruise. This is got to be up there in Tom Cruise's greatest performances. I'd put it up there with Jerry Maguire, with The Last Samurai, which is a film I don't actually love, but his performance is good. Magnolia. Any of the latter Mission Impossible films, maybe Born on the 4th of July. This has got to be, this is peak Tom Cruise. This is him at his best. This is his film. He brings emotion. He brings depth. Like, in this film, they don't show flashbacks. They give you items that take you back. They don't have to worry about showing flashbacks the way other films relate to. But when Tom Cruise is in a scene with certain actors and stuff, you know that Tom Cruise has in his head, thought about for years or has figured out, you see in his eyes that he has lived for the past 30 years as this character, as Pete Mitchell, a.k.a. Maverick. You truly see it in his eyes and his age. Also, this is the first time that I can think of, unless there's a random Tom Cruise movie that I haven't seen in the past few years, which I'm pretty sure there's not any. Maybe that Lamb movie, Lambs. Can't remember. I never watched it. I can't remember the title of it. But anyways, this is the first time where he's played his age, and he's played the older man. This film is, of course, a sequel. And it is, of course, him coming back to Top Gun. Also, this is non-spoilers. I'm going to be very vague. But this is him being the older gentleman of the group. He's got to accomplish this task. He's got to become friends, become a leader for these younger generation. And it's really the first time I can think of where Tom Cruise isn't playing like, he's almost 60 years old, and in this movie, he's playing almost 6 years old. Somewhere between 50 and 60. So that's very cool to see, and was refreshing. And that's all. I might do a spoiler review. I guess I'll have to do a spoiler review at this point. Maybe. I don't know. Doing reviews on the channel is kind of a whole new thing for me. So, especially coming home straight after a movie. I like this right after the theater review stuff because your brain's just rambling on and on. Anyways, okay, let's go. So we've got the Tom Cruise part. Let's move on to just as a sequel. In general, will go down as one of the greatest sequels ever made. It's nearly a perfect film. There are some flaws, but I would rank it in the top 10 greatest sequels right now without any other question about it. Top 10 sequels ever made. Guaranteed. Sure, there'll be a lot of arguments and comments in the comment section down below about that, but I mean, Empire Strikes Back pops in my head. Godfather Part 2. Not saying the original Top Gun is on their level, but in terms of this film as a sequel, it's incredible. All right, and then you got the nostalgia part. The nostalgia is beautiful. Like, if you don't have to be a fan of the original Top Gun movie to enjoy this film to its fullest, or this movie is still a great movie, even if you've never seen Top Gun. 1986 Top Gun, if you've never seen it, don't worry about it. You'll still enjoy the hell out of this movie. But if you have seen Top Gun 1986, this film, and especially if you grew up with it, or you've been a fan of it for like 20 plus years or 30 plus years, like I was born in 86. I grew up with Top Gun. I've seen that movie a million times. So this movie just literally, if you're attached to Tom Cruise and Maverick and Top Gun in 80s nostalgia, this movie you get so emotional within just the opening scene, the first 5 minutes. This movie just has you. And you're talking multiple moments in this film where you get that knot in your throat, and you don't want to be the first one to start crying, but then you look around the theater and everybody's crying. It's so awesome. It's so good. I cannot wait to see it again. I'll be going to see it this Thursday night when I get off work, and I can't wait. Anyway, we got to start moving this on. It's all right. We're already 7 minutes into this review. Let's start the 2 or 3 big leads after Tom Cruise is, of course, Miles Teller, Jennifer Connelly, and Glenn Powell. The rest of the cast is stellar. Oh, John Hamm, too. And there's Ed Harris. But, I guess there's a good many people in here. But those 3 in particular, we'll just say all 5 of them. John Hamm, Ed Harris, Miles Teller, Glenn Powell, Jennifer Connelly. They're all great. Standout, breakout role, finally in the mainstream. This kid's been around forever. Glenn Powell. Expect to see him blow up over the next few years. He steals every scene he's in this movie. But then you also have Miles Teller, who, he's my boy. That dude can act. He is one of the best actors of his generation. Me and him is about the same age, and I've always ever since the first time I ever saw him in a movie, I've just always taken a liking to him. He's cool. He's funny. He's a charismatic leading man. He's one of those actors where you watch him and you want to see, you just want to watch him on the screen. He's awesome. And like I said, watch out for Glenn Powell. But yeah, this is Jennifer Connelly's best role in years. Even though she really doesn't have that much to do in this film, but she is great with what she does and great chemistry with Tom Cruise. And it'll be great for fans when they find out who she is. I'm not going to spoil anything here, so it's pretty cool. And John Hamm's the usual John Hamm. Ed Harris, it's usual Ed Harris. And and the rest of the cast, the rest of the supporting cast is stellar. On from that, I'm trying to think what else I should talk about. The score, the soundtrack, incredible. Just straight up the perfect mixture of 1986 Top Gun and modern day Top Gun, I guess. And the film's pacing is really, really well done too. It's not a long film. It's only 2 hours and some change. Maybe after credits, it may be less than 2 hours. So that's a perk nowadays. I love a good 3-hour movie, but every once in a while, if you can give me a great film for 2 hours, I'll take it. I can get in the theater and get out. It's not like I gotta, figure out like a whole day. But yeah, damn. Oh, now let's talk about. This has to be the greatest. It is the number one aerial plane scenes ever shot, ever filmed, ever put up on the big screen in terms of modern day planes or older plane movies. Like the most recent I can think of is the fighter pilot scenes in Dunkirk, directed by Christopher Nolan. That's very well done, and this is on that level, but even greater, especially when you know that Tom Cruise and all the actors involved were in those jets. Even though they wouldn't let them fly them by themselves, they were trained on how to fly them. They had to operate their own camera. The pilot was in there. They were going at high speeds. They were taking off and landing on the aircraft carriers. They were doing everything as realistic as possible. There's very little CGI, if any CGI at all in this film, and it really shows. It really makes you feel like you're watching a film, a movie. Like, everything is so watered down nowadays with CGI, it just doesn't make you feel anything anymore. In this movie, you feel something. It grabs you. You are emotionally invested, and even the character you know the least about, because it's real. You can tell it's real. And that is probably the best part about this movie. And I'm gonna try to wrap it up. This is already over 10 minutes, but I'll probably maybe after I see the movie a couple more times I'll do a spoiler review. But real quick, the movie's funny. The movie will break your heart. The movie will take you back to the 80s. It's got some of the greatest filmed action scenes of all time. It's just all around such a great movie. I'm gonna start doing a ranking on my on the channel here, the Badass Times. I'm gonna say officially we're gonna start doing a star system. It's gonna be 0 to 5 stars. 5 being the unattainable 5-star movie, impossible. 0 being the worst, of course, and there'll be points. I'm gonna always do like 0.5 or 1 or 1.5 or 2. Anyways, I'm going to give this, which is probably the highest ranking I'll ever give movies that are truly great. I'm going to give, it's pretty much impossible to get a 5. I don't know of any movie that's truly a 5-star movie. So we're going to give Top Gun Maverick, by far the best film of 2022, by far the best sequel I've perhaps ever seen, arguably. Top 10 at least. We're going to give it 4.25 because it does have some little flaws, little tiny flaws, but that's just nitpicking. So 4.25 stars, bam. Just go see this movie in a theater on the biggest screen you can find. I saw it in IMAX. You need to see it in IMAX, Dolby Atmos. Just do not wait for this to come to streaming. Hopefully it'll be months and months before it does. See this on the big screen. You will be so happy you did. It's one of the most visceral experiences I've ever had on the big screen. It's truly, incredible. Anyways, that's my review for the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How much you love this movie. How much the original Top Gun meant to you growing up as a kid. Wow. It was so good. And I was in a packed out theater. It got a standing ovation in a theater. This got a longer standing ovation in a random theater in South Carolina than even Spider-Man did in December. If you thought Spider-Man No Way Home was good, you're going to be blown away by Top Gun Maverick. That's the end of it. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Give me a like, share. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
The end is inevitable, Maverick. Your kind is headed for extinction.
Maybe so, sir. But not today.